guys, Crystal with Pineapple Papers, and it is the last Wednesday of the month. So that means that a bunch of my scrappy friends and I are getting those pins that have inspired us or that we like off of the board and onto a scrapbook layout. So in the description box below, there are a ton of my scrappy friends, not only on YouTube, but also on Instagram. So definitely head over and check them out for that. So the idea is we take a pin, and it could be anything. It could be, a photo. It could be a garden, gosh, it could be anything. I have so many boards. So like last month I used a kitchen. This month, not as creative, totally grabbing this sketch. So I had these 4 pictures and I needed some inspiration on a way to put them together that's not just in like a grid layout or none of my go-to things when I have this. So I went on Pinterest. I have a Getting Scrappy Pinterest board, and I pulled this one that was from Rachel Spears. And so that is what I'm using. I'm also using my kit for How to Kill a Kit with Style. And I am starting with this SEI paper that I am using for that big chunk. And then I have 2 pieces of Coco Vanilla's Wild Heart. So I have that dark floral, which I used my new border punch that I bought at Tuesday Morning this month for like $5. And I don't have a ton of border punches, but I felt like this one was good because my scallops fussy cut are not the greatest. I'm not so good at that. So I felt like this was a good investment and it was something that I would use. So I went ahead and did that on the floral paper, and then the chevron paper was a leftover piece. So I attached that to the end, and then I just used one of my other papers to cut it back down to a 12 by 12. And then, so this is, I guess a coordinating page because it's not a 2-page layout. So this particular trip has a 12 by 12, then it has 2 6 by 12s, and then another 12 by 12. So I wanted to make sure that at least some of the papers or some of the collections, like the letter stickers, stuff like that kind of went with it so that nothing really looked out of place, but I didn't really want it to look like a 2-page spread because it's not. It has that 6 by 12 page in between. So the way that I'm pulling that in right now is that banner paper. I have that on the other page as well, I believe. And so I wanted to make sure that it made it on there. Now, I'm showing you the back side of this paper because it says Margarita, and I was like, oh, it says Margarita, and I'm doing bar pictures. And that is the person's last name of whatever quote is on that paper, but I just thought it was kind of funny. So I am thinking of backing the photos. I'm just not sure if there is some 6x6 paper I could use. I ultimately decide no and just go with some white tissue paper. So these photos are, again, photos I stole from my husband's phone. And one of our vendors had taken them out to dinner, and then they took them to this crazy bar that's like ginormous. And you can see in that picture that I'm doing right now, there's like, I don't know, 40 pool tables, and that's just in one room. And then there's this big bar in another room. There's a big dance. Like, this place was probably the size of a mall. It was like ginormous. And we live in such a small town. I remember our mall we used to be able to stand at one end of the store, which was Sears, and see the other end of the mall, which was Walgreens. So we're not used to like big things. We are used to small, quaint things. So anytime we go a place like this and we're just like, wow, that's crazy. So that's where the pictures came from. And so I just wanted to document that. And I'm going to try and talk to him a little bit more about it. And he can give me more of kind of like his feeling on it since I wasn't there. So now that I have all of the tissue paper on, I am going to put them down, and you have to be so cautious when you add the adhesive to the tissue paper. I am like speed tape roll runner. I'm like, the faster I can get the glue on, the better. And then when you have tissue paper, you have to slow it down. Like, that even looks slow, sped up 2 times. So I did end up ripping one, but I was able to put it back, and I think it actually ends up hidden anyway. Now, I knew I didn't have a big enough piece of that banner paper, and so I did have to cut it in half. So that was why I strategically had to place those photos so that nobody could tell it's not one big piece of pattern paper. It is, it's just one little piece cut in half. So I am playing with the Wild at Heart ephemera, and I think the only thing I end up grabbing is a butterfly that says captured, and that's going to be later. And then there's a fabric piece that says just for you that was in there, and so I end up putting it on the bottom of the pool tables kind of as a joke. Like, obviously 30 pool tables is not just for one person, and that was kind of where I was going with it, at least in my brain on that day. And I love these acrylic stars, so I had to get some of those on there. And initially I think I'm going to use all of them, and then I switch it out a little bit. So I do end up pulling this sticker sheet from Amy Tan, thinking that I'm going to use the craft, because there's so much craft on the layout for part of my title. So the only thing I have for a title right now is hello, and I couldn't find anything else. And I happened to look up, and I had these stickers hanging out on my desk, and they're in silver, and they say adventure. I think it's a baby line. I think this is the boy version. So I just decided to go with hello adventure. It probably wasn't super adventurous, but that's okay. And so since I'm adding this silver, I decided to pull off some of those acrylic stars and replace them with the silver ones. So that way I have that silver in a few more spots. So I actually have silver in 4 spots. And if you kind of look at it, I got 4 kind of embellishment areas. I don't know. It looks okay to my eye, so I just kind of go with it. Now I decided I am going to use up the rest of these puffy stickers from Millie and June. The colors are great. The sentiments are weird. So that 3 goes on there. There's no rhyme or reason for that. It just works. And then that little piece at the top said love mom. So I just tucked it down to where the mom was hidden and did the love. And then I thought the telephone was cute. No real other reason. And then I was like, okay, so the only piece I have left on this sticker sheet is this little cupcake. Can you get a cupcake at a bar? I don't know. This bar seemed to have a lot of stuff. Why not though, right? Well, I decided just to cut the cupcake top off and get rid of it and just use the bottom that has the little heart on it. And I'm good with that. So then I just have a few of these stickers left on this piece. And there's a couple of unicorns. I toyed with the first one, which is just the head, but then I decide I'm going to take the full unicorn. I'm going to cut the horn off and make it a horse because it was a Western bar, so I figured I could get away with that. I don't know if that's true. I mean, it is a very pink, sparkly horse at this point, but um, I like it, and it brings that bright pink into another space. So I am pulling out these Amy Tan ephemera pieces, and I liked the cups, and I was like, oh, they have cups. I mean, maybe not teacups at a bar, but cups would work. And I pulled them out. I'm like, they don't work. Crystal, just put them away. You got plenty of random stuff on this layout already. I think that you're pushing the limit. Like you can't get any more random stuff on here. So I decided, okay, I'm done. I'm just going to glue everything down with my Scotch tacky glue and call it good. So let me know in the comments what you think about my few little random items. And definitely tag us if you're going to play along with us on Instagram or in one of the Facebook groups. So it's hashtag OTBWPP. So here are the close-ups. Make sure you check out the description box below where you'll find links to everybody who's playing and their channels or Instagram. So remember to wear your crown. We'll see you next month. Bye.